This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, can someone give me a brief as what we discussed? I believe we have worked on standard reports, and then simple report we have started looking at and working on it, and we need to start on advanced report. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, cool, thanks. By the way, any questions that you may have at this moment?
No questions as such. I couldn't really repeat the steps you showed us because the tenant was not working. Even now, for me, the tenant doesn't work. So I don't know. I have to ask Navya how to get back into it because she told me tonight it would start working. And for you, I can see it's up and running, but for me, it still doesn't work. So, but coming back, I mean, no questions. Everything was clear for me at least.
Okay, cool. I mean, this is organizers or tenants. I mean, Navia's access. I don't have the access, by the way. Okay, let's get going. We have our what is the prefix that you have been using? WP
Yes, WP.
or D:WP should give me what are the reports that I have worked on. Oh, come on. This is a new tenant. WP simple. No, or is it WR?
For us, you've always used WP.
WP, right?
Yes.
But I'm surprised as why. Okay, possibly we have done it through Megan Cook. Yeah, let us see. Let's say simply stop proxy. We have done it through Megan Cook. Possibly that could be the reason why we are not seeing as Logan McNeil. Click OK. Okay, we are back as Logan McNeil. WP simple report. Yeah, now you see simple report. So when I type WP simple, it gives me two entries, right? One is tasks and report entry. Other one is all of Workday with respect to report definition. Notice this. Report definition is the place where you go and edit your definition, edit your report, by the way. Like you see sorting, you see filtering, you see your columns, all those places, right? But you have something called as executable link. This one, this and this both are same. What does this do? When you click this, it will go and straight away run the report rather than going to the report definition. So this is report, this is also report, same thing. This is report definition. When you wanted to edit, you will go to this one, not this. Let's say you clicked on this one. So what happens? It directly runs the report and gives you the result like this. And if you want to go back to your report, so go to actions and then edit. Custom report, edit. Now, till yesterday, we discussed about what is simple report, how to add fields, how to filter, how to sort, all these things. And we have already understood and learned that simple report is level 0 kind of a report, and level 1 report is advanced report. For you to start with we learned how you can work on simple report. To get on to the advanced report, we can do it two ways. One, go straight up to create custom report and select the type as advanced and go ahead. That's one way. Second way, go to actions and there is an option called change to advanced report type. So what does that mean? This report can be convertible from simple to advanced. That means that you can convert your report from simple to advanced. So there won't be simple existing. So let us do one thing. I'll go and copy this report. So I'm cloning this report. Okay. Let's say copy, so that my simple report will still be there. I will name this as simple to advanced. Click OK. This is still simple. Okay. Click OK. We haven't yet converted. I've just copied the report. All right. This is my report. So until unless you click OK, it doesn't save. Okay. Say OK. WP simple report. So now you see simple report, two options that should show up. Simple report and simple to advanced. Okay, why it is not showing? Let me just go check. I mean, report definition is not showing. That's what I'm looking for. Let me see. Or maybe it could be some buffering issue or something. Go to actions and you should have edit. Click OK. Then you can test it if you want it. So did we work on this? Test means it gives you the first 10 results or yeah, so on results. Let's go to actions. Now this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to convert my simple to advanced. So it's a change to advanced report type. So it is asking you for a confirmation. Click OK. Because you cannot change from advanced to simple back again. It's only simple to advanced, not advanced to simple. It's not possible. Let's say done. Okay, when you run it, I think we did not run yet. So let's go to rd:/wp, which gives me all the reports listed with WP. WP simple report, WP advanced to simple to advanced. This is now my advanced report. This is my simple report. Understand that. So when I go here to edit mode, custom report, edit. The data source remains same. The primary business object is derived from your data source. So these are pretty much common. You understood and we know that. Additional info gives you the details about your data source. Correct. What does it contain? All this information. And coming to columns, you see a little different than the earlier version. That means the simple version. There you did not or you never saw business object as a column. but you see just the fields, column heading override, format, and options. So there are very big differences with respect to simple and advanced. So advanced has, as the name suggests, there are many advanced features than that. So what is the difference between your simple and advanced? Your simple report does not go with complicated filtering process. It does not have the usage of related business objects. Second thing, it does not help you in sharing your content with some other. So all these things. So we'll look into that one after the other. So the point is, whatever you are able to do with simple report can be done by advanced report as well. That's the reason when you click OK and run it, it gives you the same results. And the other side, if you go with creating an advanced report directly, you can do the same thing. Create. Create custom report. So all that you need to do is to just pick advanced, and the features will be more or less like same. It's same as actually. So instead of adding all the fields again, I'm just taking the leverage of going through this way. Okay, so you understand that and you create on your own with this method. Okay, let me go back. So now we'll try to understand what is this making a difference with respect to simple report. First thing, we'll go to our click OK. We'll try to run this report and see how many results we are showing up, and then we'll come back and understand a little more details. I'm running the same report as how it used to be in a simple report. So 549 items. Parallelly, I will try to run the simple report as well. WP simple report. I'm just trying to run this, okay? Discard this and run it. It should ideally return 549 results as expected. Correct? Same results. So we are good on that aspect. So going to the edit mode, actions, edit on my advanced. On the same lines, I'll go to the edit mode on my simple also, so that you know the clear differences and understanding between simple and advanced. There could be a possible question that what is the difference between simple report and advanced report, and why you opt for advanced report if there is already a simple report. That kind of questions may come up. So yeah, going into the edit mode for both of these reports. So this is what we call it as a definition. Okay, scroll down. Now what do you see here? Order and everything is same. So field is what we see here, but you have business object as an extra field. So why we have business object? So there is a reason behind it. For example, you want to access an additional business object or a related business object to worker. We saw there is a list of related business object to worker. Remember, we saw about dependent and understood there are links that are going from and to all these things. So for example, I want to add dependent information also in my report. This does not allow me to do so, right? Where is an option? So all that you need to pick the fields from is this worker business object. But here it is allowing you to go for multiple business objects which worker has links to. So let's try one example. Dependent So let's pick dependence as the business object, which holds all the dependent information of my worker. So let's say name of my dependent. I'm choosing the fields from dependents, by the way, now. Name. Then I want probably age of my dependent. What is the age? And the relationship. What is the relationship between the employee and the dependent? Is it a spouse or a child or a parent or a domestic partner or adopted child? What are those? Let's say what is that? Relationship. So consider that this is a real-time requirement that you got some fields from dependent information you need to pull. Okay. So age here, worker age is there and dependent age is there. Not to confuse. So let's say dependent age. Like this. Okay, all that I have done was added 3 fields. That's it. So that is not possible with simple report. Click OK. Let's try to run this to see, or let's do the test. So not necessary. Or yeah, we can just try to test it because it may take some time to run it. So let's do the test. Test always do first 10 or 12 results. Yeah, as I thought, none of them have any dependents. So let's do a quick full run. Okay. Instead of test, I'm doing a full run. Custom report, run. We want to see the data. Notice that your columns are saying that this is coming from another business object, name, dependent, relationship from dependents. But this is from the primary business object, that is worker. Okay, all right. So now I see some data over here. Adam Colton, manager is Logan McNeil and has one dependent by name Remo Omi and child age is 20. So it's likewise, wherever whomsoever got dependents, now you see 645 items, not 549, because there are multiple rows. This count is not always the employee count, but the row count. So understand, don't get confused whenever some numbers show up. Don't think blindly that these are all number of employees. This could be multiple rows like this. In this case, this employee is treated as 2 rows, so 2 number it shows. Okay, so child, spouse, so on and so forth, all the data is present. Correct. Some people who do not have dependents, right, they don't have dependents, but their worker information is present. Correct. Then we don't get to see that in columns. Going back to actions and edit. Custom report, edit. Now I want to set some filter upon my dependent business object. What is that? My dependent business object. I want to understand or filter if my relationship is only spouse. I want to bring them only. There is one more tab, if you notice, sub filter it says. There is only one filter here, but you have got filter plus sub filter. Filter is for your primary business object. Sub filter is for all your rest of your related business objects. Go to sub filter, click on add, and if you have 2 or 3 different business objects that you have added, just we have done for only one, that is dependents. If you have more business objects, you can choose from here, but in this case we have only one, right? So we're choosing 1. Click on plus, and now my condition is I want to have a relationship of those whoever have spouse as their relationship, those data should only show up for me, which means those dependent data should be showing up for me. Let's say relationship, or you can just pick it from the fields on the report. There are only 3 fields, correct? 3 fields from this object. Let's say relationship. I'm setting the condition with the operator frequently used in the selection list, and I'm going to say spouse. So there are a lot many, so let me just say spouse. Yeah, I don't know if these people have duplicated this. Let's try to add these two. So wherever this shows up, I'll click OK. I'm doing a sub filter. Sub filter is applied on your related business objects. Run it. Now you may see a different number than what you saw last time, because it will cut short all other relationships except spouse. $550 items, because mostly a person will have only one spouse, right? I'm surprised as who will be the other extra person who has 2 entries. Okay, that's fine. So wherever you see, it's spouse. So we have filtered on our dependent business object. That's filtration, sub filter for you. And the same way, if you want to sub sort, okay, you know sorting on this one, but if you want to do a sub sort on this dependents, you can do that. Here in simple, you have only sorting, right? You can do a sorting or you can do a filtering. But here it gives you an option to do a sub sort, which is on related business object. Custom report, edit. Go to sort. There is no different folder or tab. We can say it's underneath this sort only. You have this one, sub level sort. When you click on add, it allows you to add a sub level sort and choose the business object. Business objects on the report. We have only dependents. Go for add. And the field goes on the report. We have only 3 fields as usual. By age, maybe I can just say. Automatically it says alphabetical descending or alphabetical odd ascending. Either of the 2 options you'll see. If you want to add for different business object on the sub-level sort, you can add it. So that's use of sub-level sort. Scroll up. Now we understood what is sort, what is filter. And there is a difference between this filter and this filter. So how is it different? If you notice, the AND OR logic is applied on the all conditions. You can either do a AND condition or OR condition, not a mix and match. What does that mean? So here you can see a mix and match. For example, let's say condition A, and you have condition B and condition C and condition D. Okay, 4 conditions you have like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. So my requirement is to do A and B or C and D. This is the requirement. Okay. So can this be achieved through our simple report? You can do either AND or OR. for all the 4 conditions. If you say and, it will say A and B and C and D. If you say or, it will say A or B or C or D. So that's what you can do with your simple reports. But here in your advanced report, it allows you to choose what you wanted. In this case, I wanted A and B or C and D. So how can you do? With the help of braces, you can open, close, and do your own logic. So here in this case, we have 2 conditions. Let's say if it is 2 conditions, you can just simply say and or. So either this or this. So first one, you can just leave it. So it should not be a problem. Next, I have few more conditions like plus and plus. I'll just show you on a basis. So in this case, if I want to build the same way, and I think we discussed this and or logics, right? So already in compensation or somewhere, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so you understand that. So how you open the braces and close the braces here, right? So that I don't think I need to explain it one more time. So let's skip this. So you can use the parenthesis or the braces to close and open it. So that helps you in doing and or logic in a sophisticated manner and for each and every condition that you can apply that you wanted. Delete. That's about your filtering. And coming to we saw columns, filters, and all. Let's talk about advanced. So here, advanced tab gives you few options like freeze first column. If you wanted to freeze the first column in your data, once you once you click OK and run, it gives you the data, right? So there, if you want to freeze the first column, then you can click on this checkbox. All the time it will be frozen, the first column. Enable preferred currency. So if you wanted some currency to be showing up, what is the preferred currency? For example, here if you notice, on total base pay annualized amount, you're saying show me the currency symbol. We know that there are different currencies in the same organization if it is a global aspect. If it is Chinese and you want to understand what is the currency in my own country, which means USA. In USA, I'm maintaining the system in the USA aspect. Let's assume there are a few people whose currency is in INR, whose currency is in GBP or SGP, Singapore dollars, so on and so forth. SGD, sorry. So on and so forth. In that aspect, I want to know what is it converted to my preferred currency. My preferred currency is US dollars. So that way, when you check this checkbox, it shows you underneath that amount. So we'll see that as well. Enable save parameters. So this is more related to your prompts. Let's check this checkbox. We'll talk about that. Exclude execution link from the search. When you check this checkbox, it is going to exclude your search link. So when you're typing something like WP simple, you're getting 2 executable links, right? So if you don't want to see this executable link, just check this checkbox. Exclude execution link from search. So that is what it does. All right. Now, web service options. This is very important. If you want to make your report as a RAS report, what is RAS? Report as a service. So let me just take a drawing. Can we do the drawing here? I'm just wondering if we am able to do some drawing. Okay, fine. A report, if you want to make this report available for your integration to access. So when you want to make your report to be enabled for your integration to send the output there, or to use that report as a data source and send an output to customer or some third party, you need to make your report first as a web service enabled. Enable as web service. Check this checkbox. And by the way, whenever you are creating your so-called custom report through create custom report advanced, you select, right there you get to see an option called enable as web service. When you check this checkbox, automatically this will be checked. But we came from simple report, right? That's the reason it was not checked, and we did not check it earlier. Namespace is typically the namespace urn:/com.workday.report. Then WP's, this is the name of your integration, report, by the way. You see, this is what your name. WP simple to advanced, it just truncates this spaces and replaces with underscores. Remember, you should not have any spaces within your column headings or all those things. So notice that there is an error. Let us see. So there are some limitations in your report whenever you're using your web service enablement. So if you notice, just let's check this error. Remove the show currency symbol from the options column. So because web service enabled reports does not support those kind of options, you need to go there and remove that, but we'll do that later. So let me just uncheck this. Okay, we can come back and do this also. That should be fine. Enable for worksheets. If you want this report to be accessible in Drive in your worksheets, you should be checking this checkbox to access this report as a live data there. Select the enable. So yeah, obviously these two are linked. So you need to make sure that your report is web service enabled so that you can enable your worksheets. Until unless you enable this, you can't access it. I think. Okay, as you have enabled web service, again that is quoting somewhere else. So okay, we'll come back here at this moment. Prism, if you want to enable your report for Prism based analytics or usage, so obviously that also needs web service enablement. And temporary report, if you want to mark this report or make this report as temporary for certain duration, like 1 month or 10 days or 2 days, you can go for it. But if you don't want it, just uncheck this checkbox, automatically it will leave. So these are the options available in advanced. We'll come back to web service enablement once we understand this columns related. What is this? Show currency symbol and currency column, because this is more linked to this one, right? I want to show you what is the preferred currency. Until unless you have the currency symbol, you cannot make out what is what. Okay, let's quickly check the results. Click OK. Scroll it down, run. Okay, let's see. Worker, this is the column which we have frozen. I mean, this column is standard now. So if you want to access, write down, you can go like this. Okay. Now coming to this one. If you see here, your amount is showing is in dollars, $120,000. If it is US dollars, it truly does not bother. Okay. If it is some other currency, it is converting and showing it to you in your preferred currency. What is your preferred currency? USD. Your existing currency for this employee is euros, but we want to show it in the form of US dollars. So when you check the checkbox, it is showing you the preferred currency. This is what it means. Right? Okay, scroll towards right. And what else we have checked there? The report, yeah, this one. It should not show up, right? So let's try to WP simple report. So notice that the other report, simple to advanced, is no more showing because we have checked the checkbox not to show and remove the execution link from the search bar. So that's what we did. Okay, now let's go back and remove this one because this is helping. This is not helping us in going through a RAS based report. Actions, custom report, edit. Scroll down and I'll just remove the options which are showing up here. Show currency column, currency symbol. I think currency symbol should be okay, I believe. Right? Should not have any problem. Let's say show currency symbol. Now I'll go straight up over here in advanced tab and enable this. Let's see if it errors out or not. Oh yeah, it still does not like currency symbol. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. We'll check this checkbox also. Enable this for worksheets, and we don't want this to be temporary report. Let's mark this also. Fine, Prism. So we are not using Prism, by the way. Go to columns and remove that. It's clearly showing the, oh, how come it's clearly seen? Show currency code column. Okay, it automatically pops up, I think. Okay, I'm just removing these option fields so that my report is fine. What is wrong? Okay, this format also. This report is enabled for Prism and it contains currency field, but it shows currency column code. Options isn't selected. Enable the Prism report show currency. Okay, there is a conflict. So let's try to remove this one. Okay, Prism, we are not using it here. Come on. I go to advanced and try to uncheck or yeah, this one. Yeah, that's fine. So now this web service, whatever you have the namespace will automatically generate it, by the way. So if you just remove this and try to uncheck it and check it, it automatically creates the namespace based on your report ID. And pick up the latest version, which is version 35. So pick up the latest one. It automatically gives you the latest version only. So don't worry about it. Right, it enabled for worksheets. Now let's go a little further in understanding other tabs. So obviously we never saw these advanced tab features in our simple report. Coming to share, we did not see sharing also in our simple reports. Come on, I'm not able to access it. Okay, go to share. So we're talking about report definition. See, what is report definition? This one, whatever you are editing right now is a report definition, not the report result. Okay, so report definition sharing options, whether you want to share with anyone or not is what it says. Do not share report definition is by default. If you say share with all authorized users, whoever has access to access the reports in the tenant say report writer access or temporary report access or report administrator, those security groups will be able to automatically see this report. If you wanted to specify for a particular person or for a particular user group, then go for this. Like user groups or security groups are like com partner, HR partner, administrator, different roles, you know it already. And users like Logan McNeil, Steve Morgan, or any individual employees or workers in your tenant that you can go for. I'll say share with all authorized users. When I say this, maybe Logan McNeil will also be able to use it, see it. And it says report owned by, who is owner of this report. Once you own it, you have the option to do this. Also, you can transfer the ownership, okay, to someone else. So we'll see that in our edit options. Output, that's about sharing. Advanced reports not only gives you the tabular form of results, but also with the help of charts, chart and table and gauze. So as part of our integration course, we don't typically get into charts and tables and gauze. So if it is more interesting for you to learn how it shows up in charts and all, you can explore the options. So we'll go with the table and worklet options. You remember, whenever you go to your home page, there is something called as worklet or applications, right? Let me just say home page. These are the worklets, right? So you see usage 6-month trend. This is a report. How is this report showing up here? You need to go here and configure. How is that report showing up? If and only if you mark this as enable as worklet. When you mark this as a worklet, then you will be able to see where all you can see. You can just select the options like on the home screen or on my dashboard or whatever. So all those different options. How many rows it should show up, and what should display, how many times it has to refresh, when it has to refresh, all those things it will show up. I'm just disabling this, I'm not using it. And help text. So whenever you run or see some report, say standard report, so Workday standard report, let me just hit enter. You see some comments or title down below to help you understand that what this report is all about. Whenever you run, see, view the reports delivered by Workday. So this is giving a help text. So that is what it is. The same can be configured here. Help text, brief description, and comments if any. And more info. And prompts. Coming to the prompts. So we understood what is output, share, advanced. The last thing is prompts. What is the use of prompt? You use the prompt if you want, if you are expecting some user entry, or you wanted something to be more of a dynamic parameters to be passed. So this is more or less related to your filter and subfilter. Okay, prompts are related to filter and subfilter. I'll show you with the example. We have already a couple of filters existing in our report. Total base pay annualized amount and age. What is this filter that we are doing? We are giving some hard-coded values, which means age is always greater than or equal to 18 in my report. Base pay amount is always greater than 0 in my report. What if I wanted age to be greater than or equal to 50? I need to come to my report definition to change it, correct? So every time if I want to run something like 25 years and above, I need to come back, edit it, and then do it. So it's more static in nature, right? What if I make this more dynamic? more available to the user so that they can populate whatever values they wanted, right? So that is prompting. So you give the users to prompt, or the person who is running to prompt it. So let's see, the comparison type varies now. Instead of value specified in this filter, you go for prompt the value for the user. Go to common, prompt the user. This is prompt the user for the value. When you select this, it will say default prompt. So typically you configure your prompts here. Okay, all that you have to do in filtering is like prompt the user for value. Prompt. There are a couple of options in prompts also. Okay, so I'll show you that also. Prompt the user for the value and prompt the user for the value and ignore the filter condition if the value is 0. So if they are not giving any value while running, so just ignore and run it. That's what it means. But mostly try to use this. And it also picks up default prompt. Go to prompts and you see down below, none of the prompts will show up as of now. See, it's blank. When you check this checkbox, populate undefined prompt defaults. This is kind of a refresh button. Okay, when you click this checkbox, it refreshes and prompts the defaults and just unchecks this one. If you are newly creating another prompt, so it will again help you if you want it. Instead of you coming and adding each prompt, you can use this checkbox to refresh it. Okay, what does it say? Age, total base pay, annualized amount. So you can override the label. What is the age of employee? So you want to say worker age, not child age or dependent age. Now, what is the salary? I'm saying salary. Right to this, you see, if you want to put some default value so that if users are not putting anything, you can run with the defaults, right? At least determine default, sorry, specify default value, you can say. And here also I'll say specify default value. Specify default value. So there is a disadvantage by using this because typically you say 0, 0 here, but when you're running, it thinks that you're not putting any value. So I'll tell you what it means. So you want to mark them as required. So you're mandating the user, say that, hey, you know what, you need to give these values. If you don't give it, I cannot run this report. So that's required. If you don't want to mark it as required, it will go as per the conditions or values, whatever you have done. And do not prompt at runtime. So whenever you are running it, if you have put the default values, you can ignore this one. So we'll come back here in a short span. Click OK. So now what did we do? You have set up two conditions as prompts. Scroll up. In advanced tab, you had marked or checked this enable save parameters. Remember this, we'll come back. Filter, subfilter. Here also, if you want to make this as more dynamic in nature, so go for prompt user. Prompt user for the value. So it takes a default value, a default prompt, and go to prompts. As you know, you can check this checkbox instead of adding the prompt here. Just check this checkbox. It will give you 3 items now. So now relationship. So I don't want to default any this thing. There is no default. It is not required. Click OK. What is it? Okay, so it says you said that it is a default value, correct? So you are saying 0 and 0. 0 is not a default consideration basically, but when you're doing a hard coding value, it is valid, correct? So that's what I said. There's a disadvantage of using numbers or you know, other fields like currency fields. 0 is typically a valid for us, but system does not accept saying that, hey, this is something which you have missed or forgot to put some value. So let's say I don't put any default value. So worker age, right? So let's say we'll say age as 18 and above. Okay, and here salary is 10,000. Click OK. So I'm putting some default values here. What does this mean? Just hold on a second. Let's see what the error is. Group column headings must be must for all subgroups. Okay. So what happens is whenever you enable your report as a web service enabled and all, you need to make your group column headings. So on your columns page, you just click this button. So whenever you get to see this error, just go for this and add this dependence. How many ever business objects you use, all of them, just keep adding. You want to make some different group column heading, so override this, meaning the column heading override, you can do that. It will show by default dependence. Let's click OK, and let's try to see the results and correlate as what we understood by configuration. I'll try to run. This time it won't give me any result because we have asked the user to prompt the value. Here is where two of them I said required. These two are required for me to go ahead. And 18 and 10,000 are the defaults that I put. But it gives me the option. If user is not entering anything, it takes these values and click OK and run it. But if, say for example, let's try to see this and notice the checkbox which we have checked in our advanced tab to save parameters. This helps you in saving the parameters. Say 18 age plus 10K plus no relationship, which means no conditions on relationship. I'm just trying to save it so that when I come back, I can use this condition one more time. So let's click OK. Let us see how many results we are going to see. You'll understand the importance of the prompts now. So instead of putting a dynamic value, instead of putting a static value, you're putting a dynamic value, which returns according to your results. So it says worker age is 18, salary is 10,000, and dependents, everyone, it should show up. Oh, it's not showing up anyone. Because I think the condition says you need to select some dependents. Here we said that we don't have any dependents. So go and choose the dependents, then it will be different. So let's say child, and I'll say spouse. So this time I just want only child to be part of my report. So age is greater than 50. Worker's age is 50 and above, and salary should be say 110,000. Okay, 110,000 and above. So let me mark this as child plus 110K plus 50 age. Save it. So when you save this, it gives you the leverage to use this save parameters again. Say for example, I want to go back to the previous one. So it gives me this, and I want to select. So how many ever conditions, how many ever filter that you want to maintain, that you can just try to save it. Before running it, you need to put that value and save it. Click OK. Now our parameters are a bit different. This is giving you more leverage to run according to the user's need rather than restricting to something. Now notice only 100 items showing up, because age is greater than 50, all people who are 50 and above, salary is 110 and above, and children, only children, sorry, relationship should be children. See, child. So that's your prompts. You can explore a few more things on the prompts. Let me take a pause and check any questions at this moment.
I'm good, Pradeep.
I'm good as well.
Anusha, sorry. Anusha, you have any questions there?
No, no.
All right. So let me just quickly scan through if there is anything missing that I can just let you know, guys, on the advanced report. I believe I have covered most of them. Go to edit. Yeah, there is something called as transfer ownership, if you see. So that's about columns, and we also understood what is group column headings. Group column headings are required when you are going your report with a RAS report, that is web service enabled. Sorting, we know, filter, subfilter, prompts, understood. So there are a couple of things that you'll see on prompts. One is instructions, which will say you can put instructions to your users, like please select or please enter the data, or whatever information that you want to pass it on to the user, maybe which could be helpful regarding the prompts. You're educating your user saying that this relationship is about this and so on and so forth, if it is more confusing. In this case, it's pretty straight and simple, right? Okay, I said we'll discuss back again here on few things. So when you're saying that do not prompt at runtime, it is just equivalent as your hard coding. So you're not prompting at runtime, right? You're not prompting at runtime, and you're putting the hard-coded values. What does that mean? It is just like using the hard-coded values in your filter. So this won't prompt the user with the value. See, for example, I would say I would uncheck this one. Okay. So I'm saying total base pay analyzed amount should not show up, which means by default it will take 10,000, and age is allowed to show up for the employee, to the user. Do not include in subtitle, which means that whenever you run the report, it gives you the results, right? There it shows what were the parameters that were used. Let us say I don't want to show up age. Okay, click OK. Now your salary will not show up for your user to prompt, because you said do not prompt at runtime. When I say run, it won't prompt your user. Salary is not prompting. Instructions, so it says please enter the data, so you can have more descriptive, whatever you wanted. And what else? So we said age should not be showing up in our results. Let's click OK. Subtitle, it should not show up age. Notice and remember. Once you run this report, it shows some subtitles, like what are the parameters that you have chosen. Yeah, here. So because none of the values were present, so even relationship does not have, or your salary does not have. So let's pick this. I'll say child, and I will choose spouse as well. On the benefit of doubt, I'm just choosing both of them. Click OK. Notice that this is the subtitle that it is showing up. All right. So, well, I think it's 10:05 Central Time. I'll catch up tomorrow same time and get going with the matrix report. We'll talk about matrix report for some time, and then we'll start on the calculated fields. We'll see what are the different calc fields and so on and so forth. All right. Any questions at this moment before I leave the session?
No, Pradeep, I think we need to practice this to be able to come up with questions.
Sure, certainly, yeah. But I suggest you to go through the video, and I think you should get the most of the answers. But if at all you missed anything or not able to catch up, so anyways, you should be, I mean, you can ask the questions anytime. That should not be a problem. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all your time and patience, and we'll catch up soon. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.